Yes, people, welcome back to Arsenal with Ash. Here to preview our quarter-final first leg away at Sporting Lisbon. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, and it's time to react. I said it after the Southampton game. It is time to react. We've lost 2 games in a row for the first time this season, knocking us out of 2 competitions. But it can't continue. We need to bounce back. We need to play our strongest team for the rest of the season now. The Champions League and the Premier League are obviously the top 2 priorities in our season, and it's to go time. We've got a great opportunity to get to a Champions League semi-final for the 2nd season in a row, which we've never done in our history, by the way. So to come up against a Sporting side who, yes, it's a tricky game. They're a good team. They can cause us problems, but out of everyone left in the competition, we would have wanted them. So let's go out there, exert our control, our dominance, and show everyone why we're the favourites for the Champions League and the Premier League. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a tough game. Sporting's a tough place to go. Yes, we went there last season and won 5-1. We were brilliant on the day, but they're still a good team. They got some really good players in there. They obviously replaced Gyökeres with Luis Suarez, not the Luis Suarez we know, but another Luis Suarez, and he's been a revelation for them. I think he's got 24 goals in 25 league games for them, and yeah, he's absolutely flying. So he's going to be a threat. A big miss for them will be their captain, Hjulmand, I think you pronounce his name. I remember him from last season, actually, a tidy little midfielder in there, gets about the pitch as well. So that's going to be a big miss for them. He's suspended for the first leg. They got Trincao in there, who's a tidy left-footed forward. Had a spell at Barcelona at one point as well, but yeah, he's a good player. And Diamonde at the back, who's been spoken about across Europe for quite a few years now. So they've got some players that can hurt us. They're in really good form. I think they're unbeaten in something like 15 home games or something like that. They've had a really good record in the Champions League at home as well. They've beaten PSG. They obviously came back against Bodo Glimt in the last round, smashed them 5-0. So yeah, this is going to be a tough game, and the atmosphere is going to be a madness. So it's going to be. I can see the game being similar to Leverkusen in a way, where it might be tight, it might be cagey. We might even leave there with a draw. But as long as we get a positive result that we can take back to the Emirates, I'm confident we can do the job. For our own confidence and momentum, we can't lose this game, because 3 defeats on the bounce going into Bournemouth is an absolute catastrophe. So we need to make sure we do our job, get out there with a positive result, and then in the second leg we can go off and finish the job. But yeah, in terms of the team news and on the injury front, Arteta has confirmed that Gabriel is fine, which is a big positive. Declan Rice is fine, another big positive. Trossard is fine as well. Timber and Saka, this game I believe comes too soon for them. There was rumours that Eze was back in training yesterday, but I believe that might be wide of the mark. So yeah, we'll see how that progresses. But yeah, in terms of team news, that's quite positive to have those players back. I believe Hincapie is still out, got a hamstring injury on international duty. So yeah, we've to have Gabriel back, I think, is massive. Obviously, Declan Rice as well. They will be huge, especially for the rest of the season. So hopefully they can stay fit. But yeah, we have to react. It's about the players now, and obviously the manager coming together and showing why we're in this position and why we're the favourites. We need to cut out the silly errors in the defensive areas of the pitch. We need to be decisive in the final third. I believe Gyökeres has a huge role to play in not only this game but for the rest of the season. He seems to be coming into a moment now where he can be decisive. Obviously, we've seen it for Sweden. He has got 17 goals in all competitions for us, which isn't too bad considering how he's been spoken about. And if he can get a few more big goals for the rest of the season, he can put himself in some serious conversations for players that have managed to win trophies with Arsenal. So yeah, I'm looking at him, especially against his old club. He'll know the players well. It'll be interesting to see what reaction the fans give him as well. I know he kind of left in a distasteful manner, but he did carry them to, I think, a couple of titles. So hopefully he'll get a good reception. But I'm sure he won't mind either way. But yeah, we just want him to be out there and be ruthless when he gets his opportunities. The same with the other players. It'd be interesting to see if it's Noni or Max that starts out there. But either way, we need them to be decisive. Same with on the other side, Trossard, Martinelli, and then obviously the captain Odegaard. So that segues me nicely into the predicted 11 actually. So obviously the goalkeeper position has been spoken about a lot recently. I did say after the Southampton game that that's the last game I want to see Kepa play this season. 100% David Raya back in. We're so much more assured at the back. The defenders are more assured when they've got Raya behind them. So yeah, David Raya comes straight back in. At right back, there's a decision to make. Knowing Gabriel's fit is a big plus because it gives us a couple of options at right back with Timber out, with Ben White or Mosquera. Ben White has looked shaky. He's looked shaky in the last couple of games. We do miss Drury and Timber. And although Mosquera had his moments against Southampton as well, I do actually at this moment trust him more in a defensive aspect than Ben White. So I personally would go with Mosquera at right back, with Saliba and Gabriel in at centre back, and obviously Calafiori at left back, coming in for Miles Lewis-Skelly. And then in midfield, I'd bring Zubimendi back in for Norgard. I'd bring Declan Rice back in, and I'd keep Odegaard in there. It's time for him to deliver. You're the captain. You got your minutes on Saturday, and you played quite well. So get into that rhythm and get us playing. I remember him against, I think it was Sporting last season when he came back and he played really well. So yeah, it's time for him to deliver. You've been missing for most of the season. It's your time now. The players have held the fort. Be that leader. Lead us to trophies at the end of the season, and you'll put yourself in icon, maybe legendary status at the club. So yeah, Odegaard in there, and then my front three. Obviously, we know Saka's out. So on the left hand side, I'd probably go with Trossard if he is fit enough to play the game. However, there is a big argument to have Martinelli in there. He has been decent of late for Brazil, and I thought he was decent on Saturday as well. And in the Champions League, he's got a brilliant record. He's been our top scorer in the Champions League, I believe. He's up there with the top scorers in the Champions League, been one of the most potent left wingers in the Champions League. So yeah, there's an argument to have him there. However, with the front three that I've got in mind, too many runners. We need some guile in there. So that's why I would have Trossard starting the game. Obviously, we'll have Odegaard in there as well. But yeah, I'd have Trossard in there. He's got a little bit more of a creative bag than Martinelli. And then I'd have Gyökeres on in the number 9. And then I'd have Noni Madueke out on the right-hand side. I would love to have Max Dowman out there. However, I don't want us to ask too much of him. And we shouldn't have to. And also away in a Champions League quarter-final in a hostile atmosphere, not to say that he won't take it in his stride, but that there's a defensive aspect of the game as well that needs to be done. And I'm not sure he's quite at that level yet, although Noni has his question marks as well, but he's more of an experienced player. So I'd back Noni more in that aspect. And Noni's been dangerous in the Champions League as well. So he can go out there and cause problems with his long strides and his good, really good dribbling ability. So yeah, get the ball to him as much as possible. Let him take on his defender as much as possible, and even if it's 6 times out of 10, get the better of him. You'll be able to cause dangerous situations. So yeah, that's what I'd go with. And then off the bench, we'll have the likes of Havertz, Jesus, Max, whether it's Martinelli or Trossard on there as well on the bench to change the game if need be. But I believe that's the team that can get us over the line. And I think that's close to the team that I want to see starting for the rest of the season. Obviously with Saka and Eze to come back into the team as well. And maybe Hincapié and Timber. But yeah, that's the team I'd go with. And I'm backing the boys to react. I'm backing someone like Declan Rice to go out there and get about that pitch and be counted and be a leader on that pitch, leading by example. So yeah, I'm going for us to go out there and win that game 3-1. I'm going to go for a comprehensive, comfortable, not comfortable in terms of the actual game, but in terms of the result. I expect us to go out there and put on a performance and silence the critics. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. Like I said, I'm going to go with Gyökeres to get a brace. I'm going to go with Martinelli to get a goal as well, to continue his form in the Champions League. And yeah, hopefully I'm right. But what I will say, it's not the end of the world, although it would be a big blow to lose this game. Obviously, we saw in the Champions League when we obviously went to Leverkusen, obviously we did get a draw there. However, a 1-goal defeat wouldn't be the end of the world, but in terms of mentality and how we react after that, because 3 defeats on the spin is not going to look good. And it puts the Bournemouth game in huge jeopardy. So, yeah, like I said, we need to get out of there with at least a draw, and then we can push on from there. But, yeah, keep your head up, Gooners. There's been a lot of rubbish. I've been warring on Twitter, man. I've been warring on there. There's so much negativity on there. People saying Arteta out and all this rubbish. We're in the midst of a title race. We're in the midst of a title race, which we are in complete control of. Yeah, we've got 7 huge Premier League games left, and we have a massive chance of winning the Premier League for the first time in 22 years. We have a massive chance of getting to the Champions League final for the first time since 2006, 20 years. Yeah? So how anyone in their right mind at this point of the season can be having conversations about the manager continuing is absolutely insane to me. It's insane. And I've had enough of people being extremely negative at a point where we all need to stick together and the players need us, because all this social media stuff, they see it. They see it. So we need to be behind the players together. And if the team and the manager fail this season, then we can have the conversations. But right now, we're in a huge moment of the season, and we've got a great opportunity to go and do something special. So I'm not hearing none of it. I don't want to hear no negativity, none of this fear factor, all these weak people saying, oh, Man City are going to do this, Man City are going to do that. Man up and get behind the team, because it's pathetic. You're pathetic. Yes, I understand the PTSD and all of that sort of stuff, but we're in a great position, man. We're in a great position. So why would you even want to be negative? Why would you want to? If it gets to that, then fine. Have your say and whatever opinion people come up with, fair enough. But right now, we're in a great situation. So there's even people saying that if we win the league, Arteta should still go. These people are so insane and entitled. It's so entitled. Who do you think you are? We haven't won the league in 22 years. And if the manager gets it over the line, you want that manager to leave. Sick. You've got a sickness. You've either got a sickness or you're just here for clicks and for rival fans to click on your posts and have a laugh with you. You're just on a joke thing. So I don't want to hear none of that. And any of it, I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. I've had my say on Twitter for various people, especially people with quite a big following as well. You're influencing people and just spouting pure nonsense. So I don't want to hear it. Let's get behind the boys. Even if we lose this tie against Sporting, let's get behind the boys, because you see that Bournemouth game, yeah, it is humongous. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that for now. But yeah, let's get behind the boys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and come on, you guys.